We're talking about the SN2 reaction, and the first thing we're going to always do is classify the alkyl halide. So you go to the alpha carbon. The alpha carbon is the carbon that has the halide attached to it. And this alpha carbon has another carbon attached to it. So it's a primary alkyl halide. So it must undergo the SN2 reaction. I have potassium cyanide in here. And what's going to happen is that the cyanide is going to approach the alpha carbon on the opposite side of the halide. So I am going to draw the intermediate of the reaction. So I have two hydrogens, one in the front, one in the back. And I have on this side, I'm going to have the cyanide approaching the carbon. And on the other side, the halide is going to start to pull away from the carbon, and the bond is getting longer and longer. This is the transition state of the SN2 reaction, and notice that I have 5 things around my carbon. So this is what it's called the pentacoordinate intermediate. And the pentacoordinate intermediate is important because it's very difficult to actually make the pentacoordinate intermediate. I need a carbon that's wide and open, so I cannot have a lot of alkyl groups attached to it. Once you actually form the pentacoordinate intermediate, eventually we will finish bonding the cyanide to the carbon, and we will finish breaking the carbon halide bond, and we will have substituted the halide for a cyanide group. So it is a substitution reaction. Now, if you want to know the rate of the reaction, again, the pentacoordinate intermediate is the most difficult intermediate to form. So the formation of the pentacoordinate intermediate is going to be the rate determining step of the reaction. And I have 2 things coming together to form this intermediate. I have the nucleophile, which in this case is the cyanide, and I also have my alkyl halide in here. So the rate of the reaction of the SN2 reaction is going to depend not only on the concentration of your alkyl halide, it's also going to depend on the concentration of the potassium cyanide of your nucleophile that you have. So this is the rate of the reaction, and this is a bimolecular reaction, and that bimolecular is the number 2 that you see in the SN2 label of the mechanism.